Triple exit rocks Browns offense as door opens for Deshaun Watson-Shedeur Sanders QB battle. It was 2020, and the Cleveland Browns were coming off a disappointing 6-10 season 2019 when newly appointed general manager Andrew Berry was handed a clear mission: fix the roster, starting with the offensive line. And the defensive backfield, change had to come quickly. Berry's big move came in free agency, when he signed right tackle away from the Tennessee Titans. He was a good name to have on their team, but the player simply couldn't remain healthy. During his 6 seasons in Cleveland, he played only 57 games, whereas the team featured in 102. That was clearly a problem statement the Browns no longer wanted to deal with. So, the franchise decided to move on from him, as well as 2 more players. The Browns have also officially released David Njoku and Wyatt Teller with post-June 1st designations, ESPN reporter Danilo Yefusai posted on X on Thursday. By cutting Njoku, Cleveland breaks his dead cap into $9.5 million in 2026 and $14.7 million. Teller's dead cap will be broken up into $8.2 million in 2026 and $11.1 million in 2027. Cleveland will get a bit of cap relief after June 1st, and separating the dead cap gives them a little more wiggle room in 2026. Conklin. For the Cleveland Browns, the decision to part ways with Conklin ultimately came down to the future. With a spot now open on the line, the franchise hopes to bring in a younger and ideally healthier tackle to fill the role. And because the move was made as a pre-June 1st release, Cleveland will still carry a $12.4 million dead cap charge as part of the decision. However, that's not the case with Njoku and Teller. Njoku and Teller, releasing them as post-June 1st designations spreads the financial impact over the next 2 seasons instead of putting the entire amount on the current cap. Cleveland will carry $9.5 million in dead cap for David Njoku in 2026 and $14.7 million in 2027, while Wyatt Teller will count $8.2 million in 2026 and $11.1 million in 2027. The franchise will save tons of money, spreading more than $40 million in dead money from Njoku and Teller over the next 2 seasons. Njoku and Teller's release was just the last formality waiting to take place. In reality, the dog pound knew that neither would return. Back in February, Njoku announced his time in Cleveland was done. The time for me to find a new home has come, and all I can think of is just the gratefulness in my heart. The city of Cleveland will forever be home, the player wrote, addressing his fans. His exit removes a familiar target from the offense. During the 2025 regular season, the tight end recorded 33 receptions for 293 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging 8.9 yards per catch. Njoku had been a steady option in Cleveland's passing game for several seasons. His ability to work in short and middle routes often gave the Browns another reliable outlet during drives, but in the NFL, such endings are always expected. Similarly, Teller too had announced in February that he wouldn't return to Cleveland for the next season. He was another key part of the offensive line. Teller played 8 seasons in the NFL with the Browns and Buffalo Bills, appearing in 108 games and earning 3 Pro Bowl selections during his career. All 3 of these releases were expected, considering that Cleveland is once again rebuilding its offensive line during free agency. In what Berry has described as a strategic pivot, the franchise has begun bringing in younger talent while gradually moving on from several longtime veterans. The team recently traded for Houston Texans offensive tackle Titus Howard to strengthen the blocking unit. So, while losing experienced players like David Njoku and Wyatt Teller removes both a reliable receiving option and protection on the offensive line, the team is also bringing in pieces who can help them next season and beyond. All that said, Cleveland's biggest question may still be at quarterback. Cleveland Browns keep QB competition open once again. Even with roster changes happening around the offense, the Browns are not rushing to settle their quarterback situation. The team still has multiple options under contract heading into the offseason. General Manager Andrew Berry recently made it clear that competition will decide the starting job. That includes the possibility of Deshaun Watson returning to the mix after a long absence. I think any player on our roster we would want to compete. We believe in competition at every spot, Berry said in February. That's no different than quarterback. Deshaun's been working really hard. He's been working his tail off. Berry also said the team is still early in the process and there is plenty of time before the season begins. Right now, the Browns have several things to fix before worrying about the final quarterback decision. The offensive line could see major changes, especially if veteran Joel Bitonio decides to retire. If that happens, Cleveland could lose 4 of its 5 starters from last season's line. DeJuan Jones may be the only returning starter after his 2025 season ended early because of injury. The offense also needs help at receiver and tight end. With Njoku gone, the team may look for another option to pair with rookie standout Harold Fan and JRB. For Sanders, the coming months will be important. Barry said the team wants to see growth from the young quarterback as he prepares for his second season. I think the biggest thing we want to see from Shedeur is just continued growth, Barry explained. If Sanders takes a big step forward before training camp, he could claim the job. But if Watson manages to revive his career, Cleveland's quarterback battle could become one of the most talked about storylines of the offseason. For now, Cleveland appears willing to let the competition play out, whether it is Shedeur Sanders building on his rookie season or Deshaun Watson fighting for another chance. The Browns' quarterback situation could remain uncertain until training camp begins.